Welcome, G.I. Joe fans, to this week's G.I. Joe toy review, where today we are looking at Zandar, Sartan's brother. His mostly forgotten brother, but it's still his brother anyway. But before we get to looking at Zandar, let me make a quick apology. I know last week I said I was going to be looking at a 15 figure set, but I didn't look at my schedule correctly. but that 15 figure look at is actually next week. But today we are looking at Zandar, and before we get to Zandar, we're going to do our shout outs of the week, and we're going to do first Back to the Media at 48 South Loudon Street, which is the home of Back to the Media, where you get all of your video game needs from the Atari all the way up to current systems, and games and accessories for each system. And also, while you're there, you can find CDs, DVDs, magazines, things of the sort. And and if you need to get your PC, laptop, or console fixed, you could go up to Play It Again Games on Middle Row, right behind the seats on Valley Avenue, here in Winchester. Get your systems fixed, as well as odds and ends that you can't find at Back to the Media that you may need. So definitely check them out. And once you leave there, you could go to Time Traveler Toys and Collectibles and get all sorts of G.I. Joe and Transformers and He-Man and all kinds of stuff there. Unfortunately, Zandar came in the Dreadnought 7-pack that I got from on eBay, and which I'm actually glad I picked up, because I'm the world's biggest Dreadnought fan, if I haven't told y'all beforehand. But yes, I am a Dreadnought fan. But I did get Zandar from Time Travelers, or not Time Travelers, but eBay in the 7-pack. With 7 other Dreadnoughts. But after you leave Time Travelers and you're looking for stuff for your toddler, like slime or slinkies or educational stuff as, puzzles and games, you also get barnyard animals and so forth at Thinker Toys at 106 South Loudon Street here in the Winchester Walking Mall. So definitely check them out. And after you leave there, you could go see 80 Weems Lane, which is the blue building on Weems Lane, which is the home of 4 Color Fantasies, which is where you can get all your comic book stuff here in Winchester. So definitely feel free to check them out. And then after you leave there, if you're looking for comic books in the Salisbury, North Carolina area, check out the Comic Monsters. Definitely give them a look-see. You can find all kinds of stuff there. So definitely give them a look. But if you're here in Winchester and you're looking for a great card game place to go to, get some good like Pokemon cards, sports cards, Magic the Gathering, you could check out you could go ahead and check out Breaker Brothers at 6 Piccadilly Street, and check them out and see what you can get there. And since you're on Piccadilly, that side of Piccadilly Street, you could go up to a couple buildings about a block up the street to 36 Piccadilly Street and see Lloyd and his wonderful staff for some great Jamaican food at Tropical Islands, and check them out. But if you're looking to get some tree stuff done, some tree work done, the tree removed, and things of that nature, you can go to Mixed Tree Service. Get a hold of Mixed Tree Service. He'll take care of it for you, and make sure everything's done right. He'll remove the tree and everything, the stump, and trim it, and whatever you need done, he'll get it done. After you leave there, you can go to Bank of Clark or United Bank for all of your banking needs, and check them out and get some good banking needs met there. After you leave there, you can go to State Farm or Farmers and get some good insurance, renter's insurance, homeowner's insurance, or auto insurance. And you could definitely check them out and get some good quotes and some good policies. And after you leave there, if you need gas for your vehicle, whether you just got it insured or is already insured, or you just bought the car, go check out Sheetz or Handy Mart. And you can get some made-to-order food while you're there, so, go ahead and check them out. And get some great made-to-order food. And get your belly full as well as your gas tank full at the same time. And if you're in the Winchester area and you need therapy, which there's nothing wrong with therapy no matter where you are or who you are, I suggest going to go see Robert C. Brown at Healing Grace Counseling Services at 33 West Pascowan Street in the Capricorn Building, and check him out. And if Rob's not your cup of tea, there's other places here in Winchester you can go to, or you could go see National Counseling Group or whoever your local therapist office is. Go ahead and check them out. It's well worth the price that your insurance or you would pay out of pocket. It's worth it. But if you need to see psychiatry, you could go to Northwestern Community Services. Or if you're in the Winchester, Front Royal surrounding areas, check out them. They got some great programs to get and be a part of to help you out. Mental health is strong. Our community of mental health awareness people and people that suffer from mental health issues, we're a strong community, and we're always there for each other. But if you can't make an appointment anywhere and you could text 741-741, and they got people standing by to talk to you, or you can get a hold of 988 if you need to hear a human voice. So definitely get that done. If it's a really bad emergency, go to your closest emergency room. And let's take a look at Zandar. We're going to start with his file card, which has got the Dreadnought logo right there. Cobra logo right there in the corner. Codename Zandar, Dreadnought. Name Zachary. Real last name unknown. Birthplace believed to be somewhere in Florida. And, his primary weapon is a rifle, which he doesn't come with a rifle. He comes with a harpoon gun that you will see later on. Combat here is a pistol and a knife. And he does come with a knife, but it's unremovable. We'll see that here later on. And it says, Zandar is the master of camouflage and covert movements. In other words, he's good at hiding and sneaking up on people. And of course, he doesn't behave this way to do anything good for his target. Like his brother Zartan, he can disguise himself as anyone. He's also an expert at silent weapons and can remain motionless for long periods of time. Which I actually remember a comic book issue he was in where they was in their hideout, and the gas station hideout, and they actually tried out, almost like they sat on him. I remember that article, or that issue. That was actually kind of funny. But let's look at his accessories. Upraised Cobra logo, Zandar written on the front. And he does come with a bow and arrow, or crossbow, which is actually pretty cool. And he does come with his combat pistol, which is pretty cool. And he comes with a removable holster for the shoulder holster for the pistol, which is actually pretty cool. And the harpoon gun in gold plastic. So far, I've had this for a year, or for several years. So no gold plastic syndrome appearing on this harpoon gun, which they actually labeled as a rifle on his file card, but it's actually a harpoon gun. It's the same one, but made in gold plastic. That came with the eels and monkey wrench, which theirs was in black. So let's take a look at Zandar, with his orange hair, blue bandana, red face paint. He's got a pink scarf. I guess this would be the remainder of Saranda's shirt. As you can see with Saranda, let me bring Saranda in here for a minute. As you can see, her pink shirt, it might be what's cut off of that, but just a lighter shade of pink. And he just had the blue shoulder pads where Sartan's is black, Xana's is black, Heart Wrencher's is silver, Saranda's is pink. The Cold Slither Saranda's in black. And he does have some more of that body paint that he's got on his face being lightning bolts. Silver race waistband. And then he's got the brown gloves with the silver wristbands on each wrist. And like I said, here's the combat knife, but it is not removable out of the sleeve. He's got grayish trousers, gold knee pads, brown and gold boots. You know, and his articulation is very simple. His head can rotate the full 360. He can't, well, he don't really look up and down. I mean, you can just turn his head all the way around, do the poltergeist thing. And of course, his arm goes to about like there, about that high. He can rotate all the way around. He's got the elbow bend, as well as the rotation all the way around. And he does rotate at the entire glove, which is pretty cool. He does have the ab crust feature, which is very easily noticed, which he can also twist side to side. His legs can just about split, almost. His leg can lift about that high. He's got the double knee bend. And his ankle can pivot, as well as rotate all the way around. So you could definitely get him in very, very unique poses. So let's go ahead and gear him up. Start by putting his shoulder holster on, which you just slide the piece right there onto his shoulder, slip the band around his midsection, and it does tend to get a little hard to fashion once you take it off, but it's still there. And then you just take his little pistol, slide it in the holster, and it does fit pretty much okay in there. I mean, it's pretty secure. And we just go ahead and just put him on his figure stand. And then you could just put the harpoon gun in one hand. Doesn't matter which hand. But you could put it in his hand. And put the, if the arrows from the bow and arrow or crossbow don't keep falling off, you just put it in. Of course, the arrows do come off rather easily, and there you go. You got him all geared up, and he's doing a true traditional Japanese bow. But this is Zandar. You know, of course, like I said, so I am kind of partial. Dreadnoks are my favorite group in the G.I. Joe lore. And it's hard to believe, but I was just watching this Larry Hama interview some time back, and Larry Hama was originally was approached by Hasbro, where they were actually going to introduce the Dreadnoks as like Ewok characters. But Larry turned around and was like, no, I want to do them as a Mad Max themed biker gang. Which actually made a lot more sense. So I'm thankful the comic books and the cartoons stuck with that idea. I mean, Sunbow did come out with the Fatal Fluffies, but, you know, we ain't going to talk about that until we actually review that 5-part miniseries, and G.I. Joe was ain't that far in coming. But, which we had a couple of months till that. But, I'm actually glad they stuck around. They actually introduced Serana and Zandar in Season 2 of G.I. Joe as, to help Zartan out with his Dreadnoks. And, but, of course, you know, the Dreadnoks are very, very awesome. You know, at least in my opinion, they are. And, I kind of like that whole gimmick of them being a Mad Max themed motorcycle gang. But, because motorcyclists are devastating. But, Zandar would have to rank on my top tier list, even though the character wasn't that thoroughly done in both the comic or the cartoon, and he was very forgot about. But, you know, I kind of liked Zandar anyway. You know, he was my favorite out of the three, Zartan, Zandar, and Serena. He was my favorite of the three. And, well, you just must throw Xena in there, too, because she's Sarte's daughter, Zandar's niece. But, out of those four, I would say Zandar's my favorite. But, this has been Zandar. Tune in next week as we do 15 different figures. And it is undoubtedly unarguably the most popular G.I. Joe in the entire Joe lore. And so tune in next week to see that. And see you in the next one. And now you know. And knowing is half the battle. Peace.